Well, we'd like to thank country music superstars Rascal Flatts for the Me and My Gang video that opened our game tonight. The guys were very gracious with their time when we wish them well with their new album, Unstoppable. Buckeyes take the field here in Bloomington, Indiana. Of course, all set to go, the home team. We've got a perfect night for football. 54 degrees, winds are calming down, under 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain only 10%, so everything looks good. Indiana's teeing up the football. Ohio State is set to receive, and we are ready to roll. There's Bill Lynch, the Indiana head coach in his third year, looking to rebound from a heart-stopping loss at Michigan a week ago. And Jim Tressel has his Buckeyes back, perhaps in national title contention, back in the top 10 after that disappointing loss to USC. They've only come out to pitch consecutive shutouts. Nick Freeland is set to kick off. Ray Small and Lamar Thomas are set deep for the Buckeyes, and we are underway in prime time in Bloomington. And Thomas is going to come out of there with it. He's got some running room over the 20 up to the 30-yard line. And a nice return for the Buckeyes. He took that one about 5 yards deep in his own territory.
Little wrinkle to start out right away. They faked the reverse on the kickoff return.
Justin Carrington had the stop for the Hoosiers, and now Ohio State's offense goes to work. In the middle of that huddle is Terrell Pryor, the sophomore out of Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Only threw 13 times in the rain last week, but total yards between running and throwing, very dangerous, averaging 232 so far through 4 games.
Very deceiving guy. He doesn't look like he's running very fast, but he is.
Brandon Sane lines up in the backfield with him, but the pass this time goes to Sanzenbacher. He's trying to find some running room and is pushed out of bounds by Richard Council. Now for the Rotel Velveeta starting lineup, because you can't start your game day without famous queso dip. As we take a look at that Ohio State offense, Brandon Sane gets the start for Dan Herron, who's out with a sprained ankle suffered against Illinois. And then on the line, watch the 2 tackles, Adams and Shugarts, 2 sophomores trying to gain some consistent playing time. Good gain on first down. About 3 to go for the first down. Sane gets the call. He's got some running room. Pryor blocks in front of him, and he picks up a first down into Indiana territory. Pushed out at the 41-yard line, a 19-yard pickup.
Well, let's watch it here again. You know, this is the worst thing that can happen when a guy comes out and the play was stopped, and all of a sudden he comes out the back end, and there's Pryor heads up. He even gets a block.
Well, he can do it all.
Well, that's what makes defending Ohio State, the superior athletes that they have. Sometimes you think you've got them stopped, Craig, and you don't.
Ball marked at the 41 of the Hoosiers, 1st and 10. Pryor back to pass. And this one falls incomplete. He was looking for Sanzenbacher. Let's set that IU defense for you now. That front line, 2 of the best in the country, Curlow and Middleton. 42 career sacks between the 2. The linebacking core led by Matt Mayberry leads this team in tackles. And that secondary, 3 seniors in Fisher, Polk, and Thomas. But they battled injuries and a new position for Fisher at corner.
Greg Middleton, he had what they would consider a down year last year, but he's really paid the price in the offseason. He's ready to go.
Yeah, and a big sophomore year, disappointing junior year, and he's ready to crank it up now. Pryor back to pass, this time takes off and runs, and he gets pushed out of bounds by Council after a good gain, and it's going to be a first down marked at the 30-yard line.
Well, you can see he wants to throw the football. This is good coverage, and there's different types of contain. That end got too far up the field, gave an inverted line of scrimmage. You can't do that. You got to keep an athlete like Pryor in the phone booth, so to speak.
So Pryor picks up the first down at the 30-yard line. It's time to give to Sane, and not a lot of running room. Gets a little bit tougher the closer you get to that red zone. Maybe a couple of yards down to the 28-yard line.
Well, there's Ohio State just running a zone play, and the difference there out of the spread, you can see he had to run lateral before he could cut. That's one of the things we talked about in the open about the pistol offense, where Indiana will be running it downhill.
Big Ten College Football is brought to you in high definition by Philips HD, available at Target, Walmart, and Sam's Club. Bill Lynch threw the gum last week at Michigan, threw out a Buckeye at the pep rally last night. He wants his team to be fired up and the crowd here in Bloomington. Saying nowhere to go, making his first career start. And once again, he is stacked up. Matt Mayberry and Mick Metzner has had a productive opening defensive series.
Craig, that almost looked like a broken play. It wasn't smooth. It didn't mesh there in the backfield. And I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a cutback or not, but that's not a clean-looking play.
So the Buckeyes faced with their first third down and long. They are first in the Big Ten in picking up third down and 8 or more. Pryor passes looking into the end zone, and it is dropped. He was looking down there for DeVere Posey. He had his hand on it. Ray Fisher, good defense for the Hoosiers.
Awful good protection, and he throws it into a crowd of people. Could have came down with, but you saw two defenders pretty well protected by Indiana. Could have been caught by Ohio State.
Hit him in the numbers, and that'll bring Aaron Petrie on for the field goal. And this is going to be a 46-yarder to try to put the Buckeyes on the board first. Plenty of leg, and the Buckeyes are on the board here in Bloomington. They'll settle for an opening drive field goal, and they lead this one early, 3-0. So the Buckeyes, who push themselves into the top 10 with their defense, their offense takes the opening drive to get on the board here first against the Hoosiers. Beautiful Indiana University, the clock tower and Sample Gates off Kirkwood. A nice setting here in Bloomington, Indiana. The Hoosiers, however, trail in the opening quarter after the first drive. 3-0 Buckeyes.
You know, Craig, if I was Indiana and I look at that first drive, the thing that hurt him is that they gave up contain. One time the ball bounced out to the backside of a broken play, and the other time on a pass, the defensive end got deeper than the quarterback. You can't do that against an athlete like Terrell Pryor. Those are fixable things right there, and I'm sure Bill Lynch is going to go to work on the sideline on that.
Always fun to see the adjustments that each team has to make according to scheme. Petrie the kickoff. And this one goes to Fisher. Spins, still on his feet, and gets tripped up near the 35-yard line. Man, he was about a step away from busting that one wide open. And he knows it, but he still has his team in good shape, a 26-yard return.
Oh, you got that right. There was a crease there. You know, he's seen that end zone a few times before. Watch him right here. He catches the ball. He's getting to go north and south. And the little crease there, he had to spin. And, oh man, if he could have kept his feet and went back to the left, home run.
Only the kicker to beat after that. Now it's up to Ben Chappell and the crew, the former All-State Indiana High School star from right here, Bloomington South High School. Third in the Big Ten in pass completion at 64%. Big increase over a year ago when he was at 52%. Pass is dropped to open things up for Indiana. Now for the Rotel Velveeta starting lineup, because you can't start your game day without their famous queso dip. As we take a look at that offense, backs and receivers, the redshirt freshman Darius Willis emerging as the Hoosiers' top rusher, and Tandon Doss the leading receiver. That offensive line, Saxon and Saffold, the two seniors who have started most of their careers in a Hoosier uniform. Now the handoff.
Well, they started out.
Let's take a look now at the rest of the defense for Ohio State. The captain of that line on the front is Doug Worthington. The linebacker, second captain, senior Austin Spittler. And in the secondary, they're missing their third captain tonight, Kirk Coleman, who's suspended by the Big Ten for helmet-to-helmet personal foul in the last game. Anderson Russell will take his spot at safety. Here's a good look at Thaddeus Gibson. So a -1 on the last carry. So now third down and long for the Hoosiers over the middle. And this one out of the outstretched hands of Mitchell Evans and nearly picked off as that ball was deflected. So the Hoosier offense, for the first time all year, they have not moved the ball and scored on their opening drive.
Well, you can see Chappell, he let that one fly high. The receiver was wide open, and those 3 plays, you saw the receiver drop the slant on the first play, the back go lateral. That's not what they want in the second, and then Chappell with a bad pass in the third. They got to settle down a little bit.
Ray Small back to accept the punt from Chris Hagerup. Low line drive, and he may have touched that football. Let's see if Indiana apparently doesn't think so. And they'll mark it down at the 22-yard line. Boy, that was close. Very dangerous. So he does not touch the football. Nearly about a foot away. Ohio State takes over when we come back. Number 9, Ohio State leading Indiana early first quarter. It's 3-0. Their conference road winning streak is 15 in a row, best in program history. Michigan with the record at 17 as Sane gets the carry and gets into Indiana territory, marked down at the 48-yard line. A 29-yard pickup before Austin Thomas brings him down.
Well, they lined up with 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. They just ran a zone back, and you know that number 6, he's playing basically man on that split end out there. So it gets by the linebacker. Watch out. They got problems.
Interesting combination of running for Ohio State between Pryor, what Herron was able to do before he sprained his ankle, not playing tonight, and Sane off to a pretty nice start. And now Pryor keeps it. There's your other threat. Another first down, about a 12-yard pickup.
Well, you know, he's dangerous. A lot of people would say, you know, if you're going to really feature what he does well, that's what you want him to do, run the ball. They ran a lead option out to the wide side of the field, and typically that's pretty easy to take away for the quarterback. You can force him to pitch the ball rather than the read option.
Pryor has 2 carries for 23 yards. First down for Ohio State. Saying the call, and he's stacked up after maybe a yard pickup. The principal edge to the game. Coach, what do you have for the keys?
Well, no turnovers for Ohio State. I only mean that because I'm not sure Indiana can beat them, but Ohio State can beat themselves. And how are they going to feature the quarterback, Terrell Pryor? And then for Indiana, the red zone, they need touchdowns. Last week against Michigan, only 1 touchdown in 5 trips, and field position. They're not good enough to go against this silver bullet defense, the long route.
Pryor throws the screen. Sane is dumped behind the line of scrimmage. Will Patterson there on the stop. Good defense by Indiana.
Awful good defense. And, you know, if you look at Indiana, there's a contrast here in offense. They've been using a lot of different formations. Ohio State has almost exclusively used the 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, the 1 receiver backside. They must like that matchup against Indiana.
The Hoosiers are second in the Big Ten on tackles for losses, 14th nationally at just under 8 a contest. They get one there. That pushes the Buckeyes back to 3rd down and 10. Pryor, quick pass. It's complete to Posey. Reverses field. Has the first down. Ray Fisher pushes him out of bounds.
That's what makes Ohio State and talented teams so difficult to defend, is that pass is hard to defend. He's just thrown it out there in the flat, and then the receiver has the athletic ability to gain all those extra yards after he catches the ball.
A 13-yard pickup on 3rd down and 10. They have it now at the Hoosier 21-yard line. Sane finding some running room. Close to another first down. It looks like he got it just outside the 10-yard line, and Ray Fisher has been very busy, the senior out of Cleveland.
Indiana had the right defense called. They had their safety coming downhill right now to get the extra hat in the box. He just didn't make the play.
So Bill Lynch pacing on the sideline. Cannot stop this Ohio State offense on this series. They already lead at 3-0. They'll say first down and goal from the 10. Right up the middle, 4, maybe 5 more. Sane with the carry. Right now, Coach, Ohio State's doing what they want to offensively, mixing it up and gaining yards, marching downfield.
And not doing anything fancy either.
Here are the red zone numbers. They've scored 10 touchdowns in 19 previous trips, 6 field goals.
Not good enough. Jim Tressel knows that. He wants touchdowns down here.
Second down and goal. Pryor lone man in the backfield. Quick pass. And it's a touchdown, Buckeyes. A nice grab out there by Deron Carter, the true freshman out of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, reminds me of somebody else. Chris Carter.
His dad, by chance?
I'm telling you not. I was at Ohio State when he was there, and that's what he looked like right there. He made Pryor look good there. I can tell you that. That throw was high.
Outstanding catch above his helmet. And the extra point is good, and the Buckeyes, after a thunderous start here in the opening quarter, they have scored on their first 2 possessions, a field goal, and now a touchdown. Pryor to Carter. Watch this nice catch. And Jim Tressel, he likes that. He's getting fired up. Deron Carter, the true freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, his first collegiate touchdown. As you take a look at the scoring drive, Ohio State marches downfield and a sensational catch.
Well, you're not kidding. It's a little high, like I said, and looks like Dad, Chris Carter II, just bringing it on in there. Different name, same results.
And he wore the same uniform. Of course, his father Chris started Ohio State in the NFL as well.
Different number, too.
Fisher and Doss are deep to receive the kickoff, and this one goes to Fisher. Speedy receiver gets tripped up, stays on his feet, and gets Indiana in good field position. A 30-yard return up to the 40-yard line. Our U.S. Marine Corps leader of the game, Ben Chappell, told us how he's earned his teammates' respect.
Probably just doing things the right way all the time, on and off the field. It's one of those things where I was raised right. I give a lot of credit to my parents for that. Being in the film room more than anyone else, and studying the game, and just out there on practice every day, playing hard.
Yep, talk is cheap. He leads by his actions.
This time Evans lines up at quarterback. A handoff straight ahead. They'll use that wildcat, as we're starting to see a lot in high school, college, and in pros.
Yeah, you'll say monkey see, monkey do. It's coaches are the biggest copycats in the world. They see something that's a good idea, they're going to try it.
There's Ben Chappell watching on the side, so Mitchell Evans stays in for another series. Gibson stepped up over the line of scrimmage, but got back.
They call this the Mitch Cat, though, don't they? Someone talked about that.
Sure. So Evans, who was recruited in as a quarterback and is switched around on that offense. Stays on that shotgun and that pistol, and straight ahead for Willis, but not a whole lot of running room there.
A lot of times people get in that wildcat formation and they put a running back there, and if he can throw the ball or not. But when a guy has played quarterback, that's a little bit different.
And now Chappell returns on 3rd down and a long 5. There's the offense tonight. Ohio State already 15 plays and 119 yards. The Hoosiers 3 and out on their first offensive series. This is only their second chance with the football on offense. Trying to keep this drive alive. 3 receivers stacked up to the near side. Now 4. Throw. Chappell completes. Ball is lost. Doss had it for a moment, and the Buckeyes get it back. Or are they going to say incomplete pass? And it is going to be a fumble. He had it for a couple of steps, and then the fumble. And Russell recovers it. Remember, he gets the start ahead of Kurt Pullman, who's out with the suspension. So the game's first turnover. The Buckeyes will have the ball at their own 45. The 10th forced turnover in the first 5 games by the Buckeyes. You wonder how you keep your opponent off the scoreboard 2 games in a row.
Same formation, 3 receivers to the wide side of the field.
Look at that offense for Ohio State, just continue to push, and push ahead. Jordan Hall, the true freshman out of Jeanette, Pennsylvania, gets his first carry of the game. Larry Black Jr. brings him down, but not before he gets 5.
I keep mentioning it, but they line up in that same formation, and they must like the look, Craig, that they're getting. And Tressel keeps running into the boundary, and I think they're going to continue to do that until Indiana makes an adjustment.
Ball stays in there, but Pryor goes back to pass. Heavy rush on the way. And this one is complete. What a play by Pryor for the first down. My goodness, it looked like he was going down under heavy pressure.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, sometimes everything goes right. It's a completion, it's a first down, but I'm sure Jim Tressel doesn't like that. That floated out there. Let's take another look. There's no way he had any power behind that throw. He just threw it up in the air. That very easily could have came down in Indiana's hands.
So the Buckeyes get the reception, and they go to Ballard, the tight end. Just under 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The Buckeyes already have a 10-0 advantage here, and a timeout is called on the field by Ohio State. So they huddle, and while they do that, we'll step aside and come back to Bloomington. Pryor back to pass, and this one sails out of bounds. So it's going to be 3rd down and long. The Buckeyes picked up the first down, called the timeout, ran a short play, and now they face 3rd down and long against the Hoosier defense.
I'd like to be able to say this a little bit more delicate, but that was a lousy pass. I mean, that sailed 10 feet over the receiver's head. He was wide open on an outcut, and I think those are some of the growing pains that they're going through. They know that Terrell Pryor can run the football. They got to keep throwing it so that he gets to be a better passer.
He's got 5 receivers, including the tight end. Nobody in the backfield. 3rd down and long. He tucks it away, keeps it. And this time he's brought down at the 35-yard line. Will Patterson chases him down and prevents the Buckeyes from picking up the first down.
Well, this is a great job because he brings it down. This is a quarterback draw. But watch, he's running to the sideline, and they keep getting to the sideline. As long as he keeps running the sideline, he's going to run out of room. That was a darn good job by Indiana's defense.
So the Buckeyes forced to punt. And it's going to be John Toma. Ben Buchanan took his spot last week. Now he's back in there. Fisher standing inside his 5. Calls for the fair catch at the 10. And that's where the Hoosiers will take over. However, there is a flag on the play. So we'll sort this out. Dan Capron is our referee tonight.
If I counted right, Craig, a guy ran off the field late for Indiana, and then he ran back on, but I think there was only 10 men. And he ran back on. There wasn't too many men on the field. If I counted correctly. I'm qualifying that. But I saw him run off, and I counted him really quick. I only counted 10, then he ran back on.
I know how you count. And we have an injured Buckeye down on the field as well inside the 5.
Illegal substitution. Number 25 on the receiving team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot results in a first down.
So that's pretty big. And the Buckeyes have a player down inside that 5-yard line.
Craig, I always got nervous when a player went down and he wasn't hit. And typically that was but he's up and walking. He must be okay.
And Bill Lynch is coming over to argue the point I think that you made for the substitution as you see Andy Miller going out.
They didn't say there was too many men on the field, though. They said there was an illegal substitution. He's got that gum going again. Watch out.
So it gives the Buckeyes the ball back at an automatic first down. So that's a critical mistake for the Hoosiers. They don't get backed up. Their defense does as the ball goes back to the Buckeyes. And Hall gets a chance to carry 5 more yards. Go inside the conference 4 nights a week with 4 unique shows in the Big Ten Football 4-Pack. Our experts bring you game plan breakdowns, interviews, and analysis you won't find anywhere else. Catch the Football 4-Pack every Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern only on the Big Ten Network, the only cure for gridiron deficiency. I know you always have a good time with your show.
You got that right.
So you break it down.
The only bad thing's DiNardo.
You break it down and then come join me in the booth there and you're all set for action. And again, Hall carries straight ahead. He's getting 5-yard chunks. Greg Middleton on the stop for the Hoosiers. But once again, they move the chains. They pick up enough for the first down. And Ohio State already leading 10-0.
Go back to that critical mistake on the illegal substitution. I guarantee you, Coach Lynch still has not settled down. He doesn't either understand the penalty or he doesn't agree with it.
Pryor under shotgun, Hall in the backfield with him, and a flag and whistles stop the clock and play.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And so that'll back the Buckeyes up 5. So they'll face a 1st and 15.
He's still hot. I love when coaches get fired up, though. I can tell you that. Look at him. I love it. I never saw that side of Bill Lynch, but I think the Hoosier fans love it and his players love it. Fighting for his team.
How about throwing the gum last week? Is that a positive thing to see, the emotion coming out of the coach? Pryor scrambling. And this time he is brought down. Matt Mayberry, another tackle for loss, -4 there.
He threw the gum the wrong way, though, Craig.
Where should he have thrown the gum in Ann Arbor?
Well, I don't know. I would have thrown it the other way.
I think he probably threw it the right way.
And you know he's fired up because there's not a more class guy or more gentleman than that guy down on that sideline. But he's fighting for his team. I love it. I think the Indiana people love it, too. I think he reminds me of some other coach that used to coach down here.
Well, he roamed the sidelines for many, many years over at Assembly Hall. Nothing wrong with seeing that fire in your football, coach.
Any chairs on that sideline?
Look out. So 2nd down and 19. The Buckeyes had it at the 20. They've been going backwards. Pass is complete. And inside the 20. And a good reception there for Small. And he picks a lot of those yards back up as he stopped by Mayberry down at the 18-yard line. So 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Buckeyes.
Well, you'll see Richard Council here. He breaks on the ball pretty good, but, he gets his, you have to have a good football position. He's got his feet crossed over, and when you do that, you can't make a tackle. You got to break down with a good base and your head up. Good football position and get your eyes on the guy. Footwork, don't hurt him there.
Again, 3rd down and 8. This is where the Buckeyes excel on 3rd down conversions. And Ohio State will use yet another timeout. This will be number 2 for the Buckeyes already in the first quarter. 51 seconds to go.
A coach is thinking sometime here. It's 3rd and long. You're down in the red zone, and if you don't have great confidence in your quarterback right there, a lot of times you'll call a safer play because he has got a great field goal kicker in Aaron Petrie. So he'll say, hey, listen, let's try something, maybe a quarterback draw play, maybe a screen, maybe a fire screen. And if not, we'll kick the field goal. We'll come back and play again.
Want to attend the bowl game of your choice, VIP style, presenting the Bowl Bound Sweepstakes, brought to you by Rotel and Velveeta. You could win an incredible grand prize package featuring bowl tickets, air and hotel accommodations, $1,000 in spending money, and more. Or great weekly prizes. To enter, register at Rotel.com or text Rotel to 20284 from your cell. Don't miss out. Enter the Bowl Bound Sweepstakes today at Rotel.com.
We got a big play coming up right here.
2 timeouts already burned by the Buckeyes here in the opening quarter. They lead it 10-0. A big 3rd down and 8 coming up inside the 20 of the Hoosiers. Pryor lobs one up to the end zone, and this one caught out of bounds. So incomplete for the Buckeyes.
Indiana came with the blitz. They picked it up okay, and Pryor threw that ball out of bounds. I mean, that's a foul ball. I mean, when you look at it.
Got to give your receivers an opportunity.
Well, you take into consideration this become right here. See that he's out of bounds already. He couldn't catch that ball even if the Pryor had thrown it inbounds because he stepped out of bounds. But this is a win for Indiana defense. They were getting off the field. They had a substitution problem, and all of a sudden they put them back on to hold them to a field goal. That goes up as a win in that particular situation for the Hoosiers.
And a 1st down at the 20, so they make them settle for the field goal try, which is 35 yards. And it hits the upright, and it is no good, so they benefit even more. They don't give up any of the points.
I told you it was a win, didn't I?
How about that?
Now that shocks me right there. This guy's awful good. That's a chip shot, but good job. And Coach Lentz is fired up again, baby.
There's Aaron Petrie, who just missed a 35-yard field goal attempt for the Buckeyes. Just 42 seconds to go in the opening quarter. They already have a 10-point lead, only his 2nd miss. And the first 2 possessions for Indiana, they need to regroup. They start at their own 34 and then their own 40. They're in decent field position, but they punt and fumble. So now Ben Chappell and the crew get it back at their own 20-yard line. This time he fakes the handoff, looks downfield the pass, and this one sails long out of bounds. So the offense definitely not clicking by any means so far in this game.
Well, no, let's face it. They've been doing a pretty good job this year, but they haven't been facing the silver bullet defense. There's another factor in this game. You know, it's not a static sport.
So they'll line up right away at the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10. Here's this pistol offense with the quarterback in the shotgun and his running back about 3 or 4 yards behind him. Willis is behind Chappell. Fake to him, looks downfield again. He has a wide open receiver. This one is caught by Doss. And a huge play just inside the Buckeye territory as he crosses midfield.
Well, it was a good throw and a good catch, but it was great ball handling, a great fake by the back and by Chappell. I was impressed. That doesn't happen. That's coaching. Watch it right here. I mean, they made it look play action pass, and he puts it up there right on the money. That's what they need.
Tandon Doss on the reception. That's his 27th of the young season already, the sophomore out of Indianapolis. Evans in at quarterback. He will keep it. And he gets shoved out of bounds. He gets 2 yards on the pickup there. And that will end the first quarter here in Bloomington. Well, the Hoosiers getting a spark here as they get ready to start the 2nd quarter. The Buckeyes make use of their first 2 possessions and get on the board, leading at 10-0. Memorial Stadium is packed, a sellout, more than 52,000, some from Columbus, the rest from Indiana. And what a primetime matchup we have for you. The 9th-ranked Buckeyes lead as we start the 2nd quarter, 10-0. Indiana with the football inside of OhioState territory at the 45-yard line. Chappell back to pass. It is complete. Another 1st down. And Belcher on the reception for the Hoosiers. His first of the game, a 14-yard pickup in the stop by Anderson Russell.
Now that's Indiana. That's why they've been getting better. This little quick passing attack, that's what Ben Chappell is good at. You give him off coverage, you give him an open wide receiver, he's going to connect on that.
So after a rough start offensively on their first two series, the Hoosiers moving the football down to the 30. This time on the carry is Doss. And it heads back up the middle inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Again, Russell on the stop. And this is interesting because all last week, Illinois only penetrated Ohio State's defense inside the 31 time. And here is Indiana now for the first time.
Well, you got that right. And Tandon Doss gave him some of their own medicine. He's on the own field. The Buckeyes can't get him down.
Mitchell Evans in at quarterback in that pistol. And he checks over to the sideline. He's got Willis behind him. Evans, the pitch back to Doss. He's got the turn and gets inside. That 20-yard line down to the 14. It's going to be first down for Indiana.
Hey, Craig, let me just tell you something. What's impressing me about Indiana is their ball handling. I didn't know if the dive back had the ball. I didn't know if the quarterback. Look at that right there. And most importantly, neither did Ohio State. And I'll tell you, ball handling is a lost art. They're doing an excellent job. And again, that's coaching.
Last week, Mitchell had a pitch to Doss for a touchdown and also a handoff to Willis. There's that red zone offense. They need to score touchdowns. Just 7 touchdowns in 18 tries. And here they are again at first down and 10. Chappell back in at quarterback. Great catch by Doss. One-handed inside the 10-yard line, an 11-yard pickup.
That was an okay throw. It was a great catch. Doss made Chappell look good that time.
Wow. 7-yard pickup, so it's second down and 3.
Only need one hand. Look at that. He must have some big hands.
So Chappell now gets the play from the sideline after his team lines up at the line of scrimmage, sets the offense. Quick pass, Doss. In between two blockers, still on his feet, stretches for the touchdown.
And let me tell you why that's important. They got down there. If you don't think last week wasn't in their mind, field goals aren't going to do it. They got it down. They worked hard at it. They have been working on it. But obviously their coaches did an outstanding job this week. I like the play call. Better yet, I like the execution. And I'm going to tell you, these receivers are giving Ohio State some of their own medicine.
What an effort by Doss on that last series, the one-handed catch, and then the reception and effort for the touchdown. And that's his first receiving touchdown on the season. He had one
under further review.
He had one on the ground last week as well, but now this one is going to be reviewed.
Craig, let me just say this. You mentioned about our sellout here. Now, I'm so happy. This is a different atmosphere here in Bloomington. It looks like he was over the goal line. You know, he didn't hold it when he hit the ground. But once you break the plane, it's a touchdown.
Look at the stretch, though. He avoids putting the knee down. And let's see if the ball crosses the goal line during that process. And it looks like it does.
I'm saying touchdown.
Most definitely.
There you go.
Remember, they need indisputable video evidence to overturn a call.
Well, I'm starting to say about this crowd here, though, this is a different atmosphere. It's electric. And what I'm pleased to see, I mean, they're getting behind Bill Lynch, the coach. Fred Glass, they've got a new athletic director who's been very innovative. But they're supporting their team. And, you know, the old saying, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know, all of a sudden when they're beating the Ohio States and Michigans and Penn State, you know, we don't need you as bad. We need you now. We need you then, too. But it's great that they're getting behind their team.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Big sigh of relief for Bill Lynch. He needs to have some things go his way in order to win, and this call does. Great effort by Doss. Boy, they don't get any better than that. And now Freeland in for the extra point, and we got ourselves a ball game as we anticipated here in Bloomington. And And the extra point is good, and the Buckeyes' lead shrinks by 7.
And you're right, we got us a ball game.
Bill Lynch encouraging his team, and Doss, a huge part of that offensive drive for the touchdown. Tandon Doss's touchdown ends Ohio State's shutout that spanned over 2 ball games. What an effort he had in many cases. And we'll show those to you in just a moment, but his first receiving touchdown of the season.
I told you you're wasting your time looking at those stats about 3 shutouts in a row.
This one taken short at the 10-yard line. And the Buckeyes are going to run the reverse up over the 20. Still on his feet and still going is Ray Small, and a 40-yard return. And let's go back and take a look at what Doss did on that last drive alone. He did a little bit of everything. He ran the football, caught the football, had tremendous individual efforts.
Well, that's pretty. I like to see how big his hands are. I couldn't do that. I know you couldn't do it.
That was effortlessly. I can't even say it.
Even for you to say.
Even for me to say.
Easy for you to say.
46 yards receiving, 16 rushing. First and 10 for the Buckeyes. They're up at their 45-yard line. And this time the stretch on the keeper for Pryor. And he gets into Hoosier territory. And see, the Buckeyes can strike right back. They had the reverse on the kickoff return, and then their quarterback does what he does best, and that's run the football down to the 41. 14-yard pickup.
I'm not sure that's what Pryor really wants to do, but that's what he does best, and that's what makes them so tough. Gives them that extra runner in the backfield, big-time runner.
Pryor back to pass this time. Throws, ball is complete at the 25-yard line. And Ohio State continues to march. Dane Sanzenbacher on the reception. Fisher brings him down.
It's not like Pryor can't throw the ball. I mean, he does a nice job, puts it right on the money. A little play action, fakes the option, and just kind of to the wide open receiver. I think where he has a lot of development to do is when all of a sudden, when 3rd and long, they want to put him in the pocket and throw the ball, and he has to go from first receiver, second receiver to the check down. He's not ready for that yet.
Well, this young man averaging 23 yards a catch so far here in 2009. Pryor over the middle. Touchdown, Ohio State. Boy, they strike right back. Posey on the reception, and the Buckeyes get their lead back just that fast in the blink of an eye.
Well, they sure did. They've got a lot of weapons, and you know, he threw that right on time. He had good protection. Ran the deep slant route. Easy catch, easy throw. Good execution. Touchdown, Buckeyes.
That's Posey's 2nd receiving touchdown of the season. Petrion for the extra point. And it is good. So the Buckeyes get that 10-point lead right back. Didn't take long. And DeVere Posey on the reception. Pryor, good toss. Big Ten football presented by Hampton Hotels. Buckeye fans here in Bloomington see their team up 17-7. There's the scoring drive. Didn't take long. 3 plays and 55 yards. And on the reception, Posey gives the Buckeyes their 10-point lead back at 17-7. So now they will kick off. And suddenly we're seeing some fireworks of offense here. Doss has it on the return for Indiana up over the 30-yard line. A 27-yard return in tonight's Liberty Mutual Alumni Spotlight. Well, let's go back to the year 1988. Indiana running back Anthony Thompson ran through Ohio State for 190 yards and 4 touchdowns. You're out to OSU's worst loss in this series history. Indiana won that game 41-7. Thompson finishes the runner-up to Houston's Andre Ware that year for the Heisman, actually 1 year later in 1989. But 88, the last Hoosier victory over the Buckeyes.
Saw Bill Mowry there on the sideline, did a great job here at Indiana.
On a big-time tackle behind the line of scrimmage for the Buckeyes as Willis goes nowhere.
Well, there had to be a missed assignment on that play. He got there before the ball got there.
Ross Holman.
Indiana is one of those teams, they do not huddle. They have 3 quarterbacks on the sideline signaling out the play. Not only does the quarterback look to the sideline, but most all the other players do. OhioState, on the other hand, they huddle.
Loss of 1. Chappell, 4 receivers all to the near side. And a heavy rush coming in, and he throws this one out of bounds. Rowe came in for the Buckeyes. A 17-7 lead for Ohio State here in Bloomington. The 9th-ranked Buckeyes back in the top 10. Len Mason, Rebecca Harlow, I'm Craig Kashan. Primetime Big Ten football here in the Big Ten Network. Pretty entertaining first half of football so far. Still plenty of time left here in the second quarter. Just under 11 minutes to go. 3rd down and long for the Hoosiers.
Indiana's got to manufacture some offense, though. They can't keep. They've had 1 drive. Other than that, their defense is going back on the field too many times.
Chappell straight back, throws. Catch complete to Evans, but he cannot find any running room after the reception out there. Russell again the stop for the Buckeyes. He was there first.
Bill Lynch talked about one of his big concerns in this game was the kicking game in their coverage. Kickoff coverage, punt coverage, because the type of athletes that return the ball from Ohio State, they worked on it hard this week. Let's see what happens.
They ran a kickoff on a reverse back 40 yards the last time they had a chance to return. This time the punt coming from Chris Hagerup. Low end over end, and this one takes an Indiana bounce inside the 30-yard line, and that's where it's going to settle, right at the 30. So no chance of a return there. Maybe not a bad thing considering. 35-yard punt. And football fans, you can create your own football highlight reels each week with the Big Ten Football Mashup presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Go to mashup.bigtennetwork.com right now to compile your favorite plays and share them to your friends. .10:06 to go here in the first half. Buckeyes back at offense. Boy, they came down the last time they had the ball in a real hurry. 3 plays, 55 yards. This time they'll run it to Sane.
That was a good tackle there. You know, he kept his head up and he wrapped his arms. Patterson did a fine job because you're just not going to knock these backs down. You got to wrap them up.
Patterson had a safety in the season opener for the first points of 2009 for the Hoosiers. He was a captain a year ago, senior out of Indianapolis. 3-yard gain for Sane. He stays in the backfield with Pryor. They'll fake it to him. Pryor looks to pass. And he slips on a 1 tackle, slips on a 2, and is able to throw this one away. A fine display of his athleticism. How did he get out of it, Coach?
Well, say athleticism a little bit more enthusiastically. This guy is a great athlete. Not only that, he's big and strong. I mean, he's not 190 pounds. He's a big, strong guy, and he's got deceptive speed. Keeps his head, throws it out of bounds, and saves a loss.
3rd down and 7. This time he'll keep it and run. And a first down. Gets up over the 40-yard line. Pickup of 10. Will Patterson again. He's been busy here in the first half on that Hoosier defense.
I'm a little surprised about Indiana, how they're defending this play. Watching them on film, typically when they ran this play, everybody would force him to pitch the ball to the running back, take him out of it, and they're not. Both times he's run it, that defensive end, the pitch key, is trying to play both of them, and he's too good to keep the ball inside.
This time the handoff short yardage. Let's check in now with Rebecca Harlow on the sideline.
Well, Mason, Craig, you guys have been commenting that Pryor has a knack for getting himself out of certain situations, and running back Dan Herron is down here on the sideline watching with that ankle injury, but he's been quick to say Pryor is the type of guy who can be in a bad situation and just make something out of nothing. He says, I've seen him make crazy plays. He gets better with every rep, guys.
That's right, Rebecca. Very intent on becoming good, and he's making better decisions and getting more of the instincts back that he had in his freshman year a year ago. You kind of learn as you go along, Coach, and we have a fumble down on the field. Indiana says they have the football. And is it ruled down? Looks like the Buckeyes are going to keep it at the 49.
Coach Lynch, as I can read his lips, he's saying, review it. Let's take a look.
Saying the ball carrier. And it looks like that knee was down, but was the ball coming loose before then? They're not going to review it. Ohio State takes the snap. Pryor picks up the first down and more inside the 40. And he's tripped up at the 31-yard line by Austin Thomas.
Just like Jim Tressel designed that play right there. I mean, that's what makes him so tough. Indiana was in pretty good position. Watch it, and all of a sudden, Pryor will just put on the brakes and go backside. He sees the seam, and he does not look like he's running fast, but he is.
So explain what Jim Tressel told us earlier this week about the instincts, going on those a year ago, and then trying to make good decisions and then trying to get those back.
Yeah, you know, it's the thing. You can overthink this. Sometimes it's practice you can think. When it's time to play the game.
On first down, he looks the throw over the middle. And he overshoots his intended receiver out there, Sanzenbacher, but a flag comes in. And we might get holding or pass interference on the Hoosiers.
Well, I'm sure they're going to be yelling it's an uncatchable ball, but I think the call is going to be holding, and it doesn't matter.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So Nick Polk, the guilty party, the senior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Here we'll get a look at it.
Grabbed his jersey.
Yeah, that's why I thought they would have called holding.
Ball marked at the 16-yard line. First down from there for the Buckeyes. Low snap. Pryor picks it up off the turf and now runs to the near side and is forced out of bounds, but still made very positive yards. Gets about 4, maybe 5 after the bad snap.
We saw Michigan a week ago have a lot of problems with this, and that's a low snap, and he's got good hands too. You know that? I mean, ball never hit the ground, but you know, that's the basic fundamental in any offense. No matter if you're in the shotgun or you're under center, that snap's got to be perfect.
And he's got his play card on his left wrist, flapping in the breeze too out there. He handles it all. There's the red zone offense. 1 out of 2 so far, scoring-wise. Pryor on the keeper. Pushed outside and dragged down out near the 15-yard line. Nice job by Greg Middleton. Outstanding senior.
You don't see that very often when one guy gets it done, but he got him down. He got him down right here in the right here. You'll watch him right here make the play. And he came under the block too. Good job.
-3, and you don't say that too often when Pryor's got the football. -3. Greg Middleton's really upped his game. Big third down now in 9. Let's see what the Hoosier defense can do. Pryor will run outside, gets a key block, and gets tripped up. Well shy of the first down. Richard Council.
You know, I like what Richard Council did there. You know, sometimes out there in the open field, it's like hunting a fly with a sledgehammer. You know, you try to get him dead, you're not going to get. Take a shot. You miss him, you miss him. Watch him come up here. Good job.
29-yard field goal attempt.
What's the chance of hitting the upright again? You know, his extra point didn't actually go right down the middle. I can tell you that. It went left.
And this one is no good.
Did it go left?
It went left.
Did it go left, huh?
It went left.
Yeah.
Well, you got good eyes from up here.
Well, you know, it's he's hooking it in the woods. You know, you got to even a little farther to the right.
So Patriots missed 2 easy field goals, if you will. 17-7. Buckeyes still have a lead. Big thanks again to Rascal Flats for the Me and My Gang video. Guys were very gracious with their time, and we wish them well with their new album, Unstoppable.
And they're big Big Ten football fans, by the way.
Yes, they are. We know they're watching tonight.
Absolutely.
So after the missed field goal, Hoosiers get another chance. 2 missed field goals by the Buckeyes, and now Willis trying to get cranked up. Good pickup of about 7 yards for the young redshirt freshman. And he is emerging as the star here out of the backfield for Indiana.
Well, this is their base play, run play, where they like to block the tackle down and pull the center and guard. And they're not zone blocking, they're man blocking. And they execute that play as good as anybody I've seen this year.
Dexter Larimore, the interior defensive lineman for the Buckeyes, very slow to get up, so they're attending to him.
Dexter's the only player on the Buckeye team from the state of Indiana. He reigns from Merrillville.
That's right.
Up north of here.
He is a junior. And they're looking at that right leg, and while they do that, we will step aside and come back to Bloomington. Well, there's Dexter Larimore and getting up, and he's going to be helped off the field, not putting any weight on that right leg. And Todd Denglinger will come in and take his spot, senior out of Troy, Ohio.
Oh, Larimore, he's a big one. He's 6'2", 300 pounds. Now, Denglinger, he's not that big. He's only 6'2", 292.
The difference there, and Larimore, an accomplished ceramic artist. He had some of his work on display in our nation's capital. So they'll tend to him on the sideline. The Hoosiers, meanwhile, second down and short. They have not been able to say that too many times here tonight against the Buckeyes. And this pass complete to Demetrius McCray, and he picks up an Indiana first down.
See, that's their game right there, Indiana. That downhill running game with the short, quick pass. That's what they've got to do. They've got to mix it up. Maybe throw a little wrinkle here and there, but that's what they have to do, execute, keep moving the chain.
Here's a wrinkle that's worked. Evans back in at quarterback, and he has Willis behind him in the pistol. He gets it straight with his center, Will Maddie. Willis straight ahead. Right on interior of that line, picks up some good yards, about 4, maybe 5 yards. And stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report with scores and highlights from all of today's action in the Big Ten. Some fun games. A couple went down to the wire. One went to overtime. Michigan and Michigan State. Wisconsin and Minnesota. Paul Bunyan was busy. He had the trophy up there in East Lansing, the battle for that, and then the axe in Minneapolis.
Hey, let's get something straight. Paul Bunyan carried an axe, not a trophy. Those Michigan schools, I don't know where they come up with that trophy. It's the axe.
Pass complete to Doss. Picks up a first down as he's whipped around at the 49-yard line. 9-yard pickup. And the Hoosiers got something going here. Chimdi Chukwa on the stop for the Buckeyes.
Well, they haven't been totally on track, Greg, but you can see what I've been telling you since we got down here. They can execute certain things really well when they get what they want, and they're getting it right now.
They're down about 10 minutes in time of possession. Ohio State has had 2 missed field goals on drives that have totaled more than 10 minutes. And the Hoosiers trying to take advantage. And they get into Ohio State territory. A 3-yard pickup out there for Trey Burgess now on the carry out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. Brian rolled the stop.
You'll see it right here. Now, this is good execution on both teams. You know, they pull out, they get their blocks, but Ohio State's in good position. Something's got to give. That was just a good football play on both sides.
Chappell out of the pistol. Now McCray goes in motion to the far side. Chappell over the middle, and he is picked off. Todd Denglinger came in for Larimore, took the gift, and takes it back inside the 40-yard line. A 13-yard return and a big stop for that defense.
Well, as soon as they motioned to no back, Ohio State came off the edge, and you see they dropped the guy in the zone blitz. They dropped the defensive lineman out in the middle, and it was a gift. You're right. I don't know how he couldn't see that guy. Wow, is he big.
So the silver bullet stopped the pistol.
Oh, boy, aren't we creative.
Pryor back to pass. This one complete. Pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Posey again, he's got a touchdown reception, and now another reception stopped by Fisher.
I'll say one thing, Pryor's arm strength is not a problem throwing the ball.
Boy, it sure isn't.
That went out there like a bullet.
Pryor 7 of 12, and he's used 6 different receivers. This time he keeps it himself, gets pushed down inside the 25-yard line, and they'll throw a flag for a late hit. And this one's going to be on Austin Thomas of the Hoosiers.
You could see that coming.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Number 20 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Brian George and Joe Palcic are going to have to make some adjustments here at halftime because they can't let this guy carry the football, force the pitch on the option, and try to run that down. That's not a very smart play by number 20 there. He was way out of bounds.
So Austin Thomas, the senior out of Woodstock, Georgia, gets flagged for the penalty. That moves the ball up to the 12-yard line of Indiana. So Pryor up over center. And up this time to Hall. Gets inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line.
Pryor tripped a little bit coming away from center, but was still able to make the handoff. Pretty good defense.
Curlew on the stop for Indiana.
Ohio State doesn't have that typical Ohio State running back, or at least he hasn't shown up yet where you think, oh boy, this guy's really something. They've got good players there. They just don't have a great player.
Dan Herron again now playing tonight with a sprained ankle. Over the middle, touchdown, Ohio State. And he went to Zach Bourne, the true freshman fullback. And the Buckeyes extend their lead now with 1:10 to go before halftime.
Yeah, Zach Bourne, he's the brother of Justin Bourne, who transferred from the University of Michigan to Ohio State. And his dad was a good football player, too, at Michigan.
These transfers don't happen too often, I would suspect.
Not between those two schools, it doesn't.
Petrie for the extra point. It is good. And the Buckeyes lead it now 24-7. And by finding Zach Bourne for the touchdown, Pryor's used 7 different receivers.
Well, he's got a lot of them over there, but, you know, they're doing a lot of things. And I like what they do off the play action because he's such a run threat that the mindset of those defensive guys is when you see him try to break containers, he's on the move, you got to go get him. If you hang back, he's just going to run all day on you.
So Bourne, a true freshman out of Pickerington, Ohio. And for Terrell Pryor, he continues to engineer this offense Despite a couple of missed field goals, they're doing just fine right now with a 24-7 lead. And stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report, scores and highlights from today's action around the Big Ten and the country as well.
Now, if you're Bill Lynch, you got 1:10 left, and you got to do something. There's a sense of urgency, but you've just seen the bottom fall out in the last couple minutes of this first half. What you really can't do now is turn the ball over, go make a mistake, and then all of a sudden, the floodgate is open and it's all over.
A high, short kick. And a fair catch is taken by the Hoosiers at the 28-yard line. So that's where they will start out with 1:10 to go. It was Troy Wagner on the catch, and he took the knee right away.
I'm going to tell you, if you're Bill Lynch and you're the Indiana Hoosiers with this much time left, what you're thinking is, hey, we're going to move the ball. We want a shot at a field goal before half. That's the goal. That's what you want to do. And on the upside, if you get a touchdown, it's great. On the downside, don't turn the ball over. Don't give it back to Ohio State with any time left.
Chappell back to pass. Throws, and this one is incomplete. He's looking out there for Doss. Chukwa. Tight coverage for the Buckeyes. Bill Lynch and the Hoosier fans looking for a flag, but no flag.
Pitch Lynch, he's working those officials. Let's take a look at it. Woo! I don't know. But who am I to second guess the officials?
We're Glenn Mason. Chappell scrambles out of the pocket. Throws, pass complete, up at the 43-yard line. So that's a first down for the Hoosiers.
It's interesting.
Next Belcher.
I thought Belcher was out of bounds and came back in, so which you can't do unless you're forced out. I guess he wasn't.
Pass incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 49 seconds to go before the half. Indiana with all three of their timeouts remaining as Jim Tressel looks on. Road test here in Bloomington. Ohio State has won 15 road contests in a row, 2 shy of Michigan's Big Ten record.
That's a whole bunch of road games in a row in the Big Ten Conference.
Whistle stops play.
Charge timeout, Indiana.
And the Hoosiers will call their first timeout. So Bill Lynch and the Hoosiers trying to make something positive out of the final seconds of the first half. They trail in this game 24-7. They were down 10-0, got within 10-7, and then the Buckeyes have been able to extend their lead despite missing a couple of field goals. Well, next Saturday on the Big Ten Network, conference play continues as the Spartans head to Champaign to battle the Illini. Old Northwestern hosts Miami University in non-conference play. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance pregame show at 10:30 Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network. Check local listings for the game in your area. Interesting first couple of Big Ten conference games, and Dave and the crew will go over today's action.
Some crazy ones, weren't there?
I want to tell you what, it makes it fun every Saturday, though. The anticipation and the game itself. Chappell throws, pass complete, up at midfield.
Yeah, they get a couple more of those, and they'll get that shot at that field goal right before the half.
And the pass was complete to Evans, who limps over to the sideline. And remember, he has come in several times here in the first half as part of that Wildcat and pistol offense.
It's so hard to get big plays against this defense.
Hoosiers have not completed a third down conversion yet tonight. And this one, Sales incomplete. Looking out there for Belcher, but they can't connect.
Now here's the dilemma. Everybody wants you to go for it right there at midfield. It's 4th down and 4. But if you go for it, don't get it. Look at the field position you give up to Ohio State. So the Bluebirds might come out, but this is the right decision.
And there's still 41 seconds left on the clock, and the Buckeyes still have a timeout remaining as well.
Yeah, the problem is I don't think Indiana has all their players on the field.
Timeout, Indiana. 30-second timeout.
And they ran into this problem in the first half defensively.
Yeah.
And ended up giving the ball back to the Buckeyes. They were fortunate to get out of there on a missed field goal.
Well, typically if you don't have enough players on the field on the punt team, normal situations, you coach your guys up, just take a delay a game. 5 yards not going to make that much difference. Right here, you can just call a timeout, because at 5 yards, you're not trying to save a timeout. You're not going to get the ball back. You only got 41 seconds, or you don't think you're going to get it back. But that's why it's so hard. So many things happen in football. Everybody has to stay in tune to the game, and they got to realize that there's a kicking situation come up, and most coaches will emphasize when you get near a kicking situation, in other words, the down before third down, all coaching stops, focus goes in the kicking game.
So the Hoosiers get the timeout. Now they're ready to punt. Hager up. And nobody back for the Buckeyes. This one sails into the end zone. Good effort, but not enough. So the Buckeyes will get it back at their 20-yard line. 33 seconds to go here in the first half.
Well, in that situation, you don't want anybody back, Greg, because you don't want to take a chance of a guy fielding the ball and fumbling. You let him punt it away wherever it is. We're going to take our 24-7 lead in. Ohio State's not going to try to do anything dramatic here. At least I'd be surprised if they did.
So Mitchell Evans get off the training table there behind the Indiana bench. He's limping around. Was hurt on that last series. Looks like the Buckeyes will take a knee and just end the first half. And they do. So a lot of build-up for this game. 9th-ranked team in the country, Ohio State, coming to Bloomington, a 15-game road winning streak in the Big Ten. Indiana has not defeated this Buckeye team since 1988. And they are down here at the half, 24-7, in front of a sellout crowd here at Memorial Stadium, refurbished Memorial Stadium. The atmosphere here in prime time couldn't be better. However, Bill Lynch and the Hoosiers will need to figure out some things here at halftime. Let's go down to the field now. Rebecca Harlow.
We've got head coach Jim Tressel. You've got to be happy with how your guys came out with a touchdown. They ended the half with a touchdown as well.
Well, we've come out and played hard, and we missed a couple chip shot field goals, which is really disappointing. Indiana's a team that plays 60 minutes. We're going to need to play 60 minutes, and when you're on the road, you better go the whole way. But we're playing hard. We just got to get a little bit better.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, that's Jim Tressel, the head coach of Ohio State. His Buckeyes are up 24-7. We're going to go to our studios in Chicago for halftime. There's the statue of Herman Wells, the legendary president here at Indiana from 1938 to 62, considered the father of Indiana University. 24-7 our score here. Let's go down to Rebecca Harlow.
I've got Indiana head coach Bill Lynch. You're a couple of plays away from a very different ball game here. How will you handle Pryor in this second half? How do you defend him differently?
We have to tackle him. And then we knew going in, he's a very, very difficult guy to tackle. We got to run our feet, and we got to tackle him. We're just sliding off him, but we got to run through the tackle. And then on offense, we can't turn the ball over. They're too good a football team for us to come out here and turn the ball over.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Let's take a look now at tonight's Auto Owners Insurance game leaders. Terrell Pryor, 171 total yards. Brandon Sane, 10 rushes for 80 for the Buckeyes. And then Tandon Doss, 101 all-purpose yards in his own right. And a touchdown as well for Indiana. Got the Hoosiers back at the game after trailing 10-0.
Yeah, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. They can't tackle Pryor, and Sainz and steady, and the touchdown passes.
Well, the start of the second half is brought to you by Sure Start Herbicide from Dow AgroSciences. It's designed to maximize yield in Roundup Ready corn. Buckeyes to kick here to open up the second half of play. And the Hoosiers on the return is Fisher. He gets up over the 30-yard line and is stopped about the 32, a 26-yard return for Fisher. And that's where the Hoosiers will start, and they have got to get something clicking offensively, some kind of answer to a very, very tough Ohio State defense. Let's take a look at some of those first half possessions for Indiana. A punt, fumble, they got the touchdown, a punt, interception, and a punt. That just can't get it done.
Well, you better think about how you get first downs before you get drives going, because this defense does not give up many big plays.
Inside handoff. Virtually no running room there for Indiana's Darius Willis.
The only time that they've been able to sustain any drives is when they've mixed up that inside run with man blocking, or pulling the tackle and center outside, guard and center outside, or the quick pass.
Second down and long. You mentioned the first downs. Indiana just 7 in the first half. Buckeyes at 18. And out of near desperation, he has to throw that one away. Austin Spittler there all over Ben Chappell. He's looking out there for Doss, but just not enough time.
No, he faked away, and then he threw that ball high, and Hines broke on that ball. I mean, as soon as he saw the receiver sit down, he broke up, and that ball, put it on the money, it would have been a big-time hit.
Third down and 9 now for the Hoosiers, opening up the second half with the football. Chappell looks, throws, passes complete, and a first down to DeMarlo Belcher.
Well, they did a good job there. Ohio State came after him. They blitzed the linebacker. They picked it up, and then you got man coverage on the outside, and they hit the out route. So they did a good job there. That was good execution. Credit the offensive line in the back for picking up the blitz. 14-yard
pickup. I like what you said. They got to pick up some first downs. You don't want to come out showing signs of panic being down 20-47.
Well, a whole bunch of little gains turn into a big gain, and that's the way I think Indiana's got to look at it. That's what they are. I don't think they have the type of guys who are going to break big plays against a defense like Ohio State's.
Chappell handoff, Willis. Trying to run to the right side. Picks up a couple of yards up to the 48-yard line. And Bill Lynch and Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, telling us they think they've got their guy in Ben Chappell. He knows his strengths and weaknesses. Guys rally around him. He's got a hold of this offense. Things are kind of set up to go his way here.
Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, made a comparison. Ohio State, where they line up. It's just hard to do anything with them. Compared to last week against Michigan, they did so many things with their formations they could confuse them.
Chappell pumps, throws. This one incomplete. Looking out there for Max Dedman, his tight end. And you're right, Coach, that Ohio State defense basically lines up and makes you challenge them, don't they?
Yeah, you got to block us because we're not going to line up wrong.
There's Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, just behind the post there.
Is he hiding?
He must have known we were trying to show him. There he is.
Well, I keep saying there's two ways to approach football. You either scheme or you fundamentally sound, and that defense is fundamentally sound. Every once in a while they'll blitz, but more often than not, you got to block them.
Out of the pistol. Third down at about 8. Pumps once over the middle. This one is picked off at the 30-yard line. Buckeyes have the football back. Anderson Russell on the interception. Another turnover for Bill Lynch and the Hoosiers.
Well, that's twice that Chappell, you saw, he started his motion and then he stopped and then he threw it. He was throwing his timing off and he let that ball sail. Watch him. See, he started, and that wasn't a pump. You don't try to pump a ball and throw it over the middle. You might pump it, and then the guy goes deep. But I think he wasn't sure, and then he said, oh, he is open, and threw it on in there. Timing's all off. Let it sail. Interception.
So Chappell gets on the phone to talk to Canada upstairs. Hoosiers have the football And look at Sames just continue to carry those defenders. Greg Middleton finally able to stop him. There's Russell with his 4th career interception. Remember, he got the start ahead of Kurt Coleman, suspended for this game. And Russell was a starter in 2007 and 2008. Started the opener this year, but they weren't happy with his play against Navy, giving up a couple of second-half touchdowns. So he's been playing with that second unit. Pickup of 9 strong yards for Brandon Sane. They'll get the call again, trying to turn the corner. Very close to a first down. Looks like they're going to give it to him. Austin Thomas pushes him out of bounds. And there are the Buckeyes' possessions in the first half. They got the field goal and touchdown, then 2 missed field goals. So really, they didn't do a whole lot wrong except miss 2 field goals, but their lead still at 24-7.
Yeah, which is amazing because Aaron Petrie, he's been around a long time, and he's an excellent kicker. I don't know what his problem is tonight, but I'm sure they'll correct it, or he'll correct it.
First down for the Buckeyes. Sane runs into Larry Black Jr. and gains maybe a yard or 2 down to the 41-yard line. We welcome you again to Bloomington, Indiana. It's Ohio State and the Hoosiers here in primetime on the Big Ten Network. Along with Glenn Mason, Rebecca Harlow, and Craig Kishon. Great to have you with us here tonight. The Buckeyes had a very, very strong first half. Force a turnover to open up the third quarter and have the football right now, 2nd down and 9. Pass is complete. Posey's got it. And picks up some positive yards down to the 36. It'll be 3rd down there. Ray Fisher on the stop for the Hoosiers.
I like how Posey catches that ball. That ball was there, and he just kind of snatched it right out of the air. He's got outstanding hands. Keeps his eyes on the ball, puts it away. Those guys that catch it against their body aren't worth a darn. You got to catch it in your hands, and that's what he does awfully well.
Coming into the game, 163 yards receiving. He's been one of Pryor's go-to guys. 3rd down and about 3. Pryor over the middle, and this one falls incomplete. And again, he was looking for Posey there, but they can't connect.
Yeah, he threw that one in the dirt. That was a bad pass. Poor pass. He's capable of better.
Way to pick it up. So the Buckeyes forced into a punting situation. John Choma will come out.
You always emphasize the first drive of the second half, both sides, and Indiana threw an interception, and Ohio State didn't do anything with good field position, so neither coach is happy right now.
This is technically his first punt of the game. And inside the 5-yard line, Fisher makes the catch. That's going to be a tough spot for Indiana to take over, but he made the catch, and his team's going to have the ball back when we come back. Number 9, Buckeyes, a 24-7 lead over Indiana. Big Ten College Football is brought to you in high definition by Philips HD, available at Target, Walmart, and Sam's Club. Hoosiers are backed up to their 5-yard line. They will start out this series here in the third quarter. 1st down and 10.
The minimal goal here on offense is to get at least 1 first down, so if you have to punt, you turn it over on the long side of the 50, not the short.
Trey Burgess is behind Chappell. He gets the call. Gets over the line of scrimmage to the 7-yard line. Gain of 2. 3 turnovers for Indiana.
Well, that one he just gets stripped. Didn't protect the ball very well. And the next one they came with a blitz, a zone blitz, and they dropped out the defensive lineman. And then the last one, Chappell double clutched it and then threw it late and it sailed on him. So, it wasn't so much it was great plays by Ohio State. It was poor plays by the Hoosiers.
It's tough when you shoot yourself in the foot, especially when you're down. This run up near the 10-yard line. Again, Burgess with the carry for the Hoosiers.
Well, they execute this play well. They know what they're doing. It's just that it's off against an awful good defensive teams, you know. And the old saying that the Billies and Joes are more important than the X's and O's, a lot of times it's exactly true. They're just more talented players on that defensive field than there are on the offensive field.
Well, if anybody needs a conversion on third down right now, it's Indiana, just 1 of 6 so far in this game in third down conversions. Chappell throws. Pass complete. And Belcher had it, tries to stretch for the first down, but he's going to be marked about a yard shy. Ross Holman just wouldn't give it up for the Buckeyes, so that's going to force Indiana to punt.
And the Boo Birds are out. They want them to go for it. You're down 24-7. But it's only 8:34 left to go in the third quarter, so
you can't do that from your own 14. And a bad snap. And Ohio State will get the safety.
I told you they should have gone for it.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, God.
Rob Rose collects the punter, Chris Hager, up. And another headache piled on for Bill Lynch in this ball game. So the Buckeyes extend their lead now to 26-7. Another miscue by the Hoosiers. Hoosier head coach Bill Lynch has already seen his team commit 3 turnovers, and now the safety, bad snap here. Brandon Bugg, the long snapper. And Hager up, left to be wrapped up by Rose for the safety for the Buckeyes. And now the free kick by the Hoosiers.
And he's going to punt it, but the one difference is Ohio State's going to have to field this ball, which they do.
Smalls got it. And it's going to be good field position, obviously, for Ohio State. Now for the Rotel Velveeta combination of the game, because you can't win without the perfect partner, and Terrell Pryor has one in DeVere Posey in this game. 4 catches, 51 yards for him. And Pryor looking sharp, throwing the ball, 10 of 16, 3 touchdown passes, and he's seen 7 different receivers here in the ballgame.
Spreading the wealth. Yeah, you like that completion and touchdown ratio. They're not throwing the ball enough, I guess.
Carter, the true freshman, you saw him a moment ago, caught his first career touchdown pass in the first half. Pryor passes, and this one falls incomplete, looking for Posey through his hands. Richard Council there on defense. Jim Tressel roaming the sidelines. Kind of warming up a little. It's starting to get cool here. Instead of the sweater vest, he's got the fleece pullover.
You know, looking at him on the sideline, there was the stories. Everybody was interested. Is he calling the plays? Is Coach Hazel calling the plays? It looked like Coach Hazel's calling the plays. I didn't see him say anything in that series.
Pryor in trouble, and he will go down. And a big defensive play for the Hoosiers. Will Patterson, among others, in the backfield for Indiana.
Yeah, they had him. They had a whole bunch of Hoosiers there, and you got to think that they had some problems up front. And that's what you got to do with that guy. You got to gang tackle him. Just one guy in space is not going to bring him on down, I don't think.
It was Patterson on one side, Replogle on the other. Tyler Replogle. His younger brother is Adam. They're the first brother starters here at Indiana since the Randall L. brothers of Antoine and Curtis back in 98-99. Third down and long. Pryor tucks it away. He's going to try to pick it up. But he is knocked out of bounds hard up near the 45-yard line by Council.
Yeah, and Duron Carter got a good block on one of those Hoosiers. Got all the Hoosier faithful excited out here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there he goes. And boom, there. Oh. I'll tell you one thing. You might not, you're a good receiver, and you might catch the ball as good as your dad, but you block better than he did, I can tell you that. All due respect, Chris.
That was a big timer. So 4th down and long. Buckeyes forced to punt. And this time from the 15, it's Fisher again calling for a fair catch. So Indiana playing it safe. They'll have the football when we come back. Back in Bloomington, 26-7 is our score now. Buckeyes, they get a safety here in the third quarter, but the Hoosiers have the ball back at their own 15-yard line. And Mitchell Evans is back in at quarterback. He was hobbled near the end of the first half, but obviously he is feeling good and back in there running that Wildcat or pistol. He's got Willis in the backfield with him. With the Willis. Trying to find some running room. Gets a couple up to the 18-yard line. Let's check in now. An injury report in Dexter Larimore with Rebecca Harlow.
Well, Craig and Mace, the news is not good. The trainers evaluated him at the half, and he's got a right knee sprain. He will not return to the ball game. That's such a tough loss for Ohio State because he's that guy that does so well in the trenches, allowing guys to make big plays behind him. But luckily for Ohio State, they've got a whole lot of depth.
Yeah, they are deep. There's no question about that. Thanks, Rebecca. Chappell hit and throws this one far into the Buckeye bench. So it's going to be 3rd down and 7 for the Hoosiers.
You talk about Dexter Larimore and him going out of there. I really think a big part of Ohio State's success on defense is their defensive line. They're superior to any team in this league. And the thing that makes them good is all of a sudden they lose a guy, but they get another guy to come in there, and the fall-off isn't near as great as some teams.
Well, Todd Denglinger came in number 92 and stepped up and got an interception shortly after Larimore went out with the injury. Kirk Coleman suspended for this game in the secondary. Anderson Russell's had a big game, including an interception. So there's a good example of the depth. And the reception there by Terrence Turner, and he stretches for the first down. Russell there trying to hold him back, but he can't, and the Hoosiers keep the drive alive. Big 3rd down pickup there.
I like their wide receivers. They're a scrappy lot, and they catch the ball well in their hands, and they're not afraid to turn their shoulders up toward the goal line and go after it, and they're aware where the first down markers are. You can't ask any more of a young man.
Matt Canada told us yesterday, best group of receivers he's worked with. Doss, Evans, Turner, Max Dedman getting involved, the tight end. He's a sophomore. Belcher. Heavy rush. And Chappell goes down. Austin Spittler there.
He smelled that out the whole way. He never took his eyes off the quarterback, and you'll see him come. You'll see him come from the backside there, and he knows what's coming. Well, they're going to take. Don't think they're going to take him out of the game now. You see him right here, and he's going to go up the field, and he's not going to be fooled. He's not going to go after that back in the inside zone. He's going after the quarterback.
Chappell had no chance. Austin Spittler. Second and long, another rush. This time it's dumped off to McCray. And he gets some of those yards back up to the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 12 from there. Holman on the stop for Ohio State.
Well, screens are a great change-up, especially when you're getting a big rush. And Ohio State's putting a rush on with 4 guys, and every once in a while they're sending a linebacker. So that's a good call. Probably should call a little bit more, a little bit earlier.
Well, you know, you like the wide receivers. All these running backs for the Hoosiers are pretty good receivers in their own right and have to be really in this offense.
Well, that's right. And let's face it, Indiana, this program is still a work in progress. They were a surprise team to be where they were to the non-conference and against Michigan.
Chappell, 3rd and long, pass complete again to Turner. Look at him stretch, hoping to pick up the first down, but he'll be marked a good yard shy of that. Brian Roll with the stop. He wants the first down, but looked like his knees may have been down or a knee at the 35-yard line. So Indiana, the crowd here wants him obviously to go for it. They'll punt. Now see his knee hit the ground right away, so he doesn't get the turn there.
Well, you know, I was half nuts when I coached. I used to go 4th down all the time. This situation, I'd have gone for it. I would have. Maybe because I was mad, but I would have gone for it.
A wobbly punt. And this one down about the 37-yard line. So we play in front of a sellout crowd here at Memorial Stadium, and they got quite a makeover. The north end zone there, complete with a student athlete development center, new offices for administration. Football coaches' offices are there, and the largest weight room in the country. Also the Henke Hall of Champions, celebrating Hoosier greats from all sports, in a club seating section in the bowl area. That weight room actually looks out at the end zone. And so big glass enclosure there. Kind of inspiring to work out there if you're on that football team.
Well, you're exactly right. And, you know, Fred Glass, the new athletic director here, very progressive. He thinks he wants to change things. He wants to make something special happen here in Indiana football, because they need it. But, you know, this facility is outstanding. And you got to ask yourself the question, you know, when you go around Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, all those other people have great facilities like that. If they have them, why wouldn't you think Indiana needs one? It's way overdue.
And now they've got it. Bryant on 2nd down and 7. Look at him get away from would-be tacklers. He's going to take off, and it looks like he will pick up the first down. He does, knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line, a 10-yard pickup. But boy, he ran around the field for that 10 yards.
This guy's Houdini. That's who he is. Look at him. I mean, and he just glides, and he runs like he knows they can't get him.
All right, talk about this a little bit, because Bill Lynch, of course, was at Ball State. He had to face Dante Culpepper and compared the two. The tough thing is catching up to either one and really doing an open field tackle that just doesn't happen. You can't beat up these quarterbacks.
You don't get a good shot at him. That's exactly right. And, you know, they run downfield, and I mean, he's smart. He'll run downfield, and you'll see him head toward the sideline. He gets out of bounds, and he'll come back and play another play. But he's a good enough football player in a tight game. If he needs that extra yard, you know he's going to run out of bounds. He's going to level his shoulders and go over the guy.
2nd down and about 7 for the Buckeyes into Hoosier territory, up 26-7 in this game. Under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. This time the handoff out of the backfield down to the 49-yard line, and Jordan Hall gets the carry. Curlew on the stop for Indiana.